Welcome to Like Mother, Like Murder. I am Rachel.
And I'm Heather.
We bring you the good,
The badass.
and the crime.
This is Like Mother, Like Murder.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Like Mother, Like Murder, your favorite true crime momcast. I am Rachel.
And I'm Heather. And each week we bring you mom-related true crime content from missing moms to murdered moms, moms who murder survivors, and much, much more.
Yep. Yes, we do. Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome back. Welcome. We are going to get into a Heather case today, and let me tell you, I am so extremely excited for a Heather case. I know if you guys are longtime listeners, I tend to bring some heavy shit. It's necessary, it's needed, and Heather does, here and there. That's a fact, you do here and there, but you, my dear, are my palate cleanser. So cleanse me.
Today will definitely be the epitomal Heather case, if you will.
Love it.
It's definitely gonna be a little different.
I love different.
It'll be interesting.
I do not. Okay, so let me tell you, when I saw the title of today's episode, my first thought, feed me, Seymour. Just like, I'm like, please tell me this is definitely going to be Little Shop of Horrors.
No.
Thing. Darn it. Oh, now I'm bummed.
No. You won't stay bummed for long.
Okay.
This is going to be let's take like Real Housewives meets freaking Tudors
I don't know what Tudors is, but okay.
Henry VIII show with Henry Cavill as the Rachel, young Henry Cavill. Oh, gotta watch it. Please put it on your list. I know you don't watch TV, but it's worth it for a young Henry Cavill.
Do you know my story about being catfished by the person who was sending me pictures that they were Henry Cavill on
Rachel, no.
On Tinder or whatever, like when I was on dating apps years ago. I never told you about that?
No. Oh my
they
God.
were sending me pictures of Henry Cavill. I was like, this dude's fine.
Hey,
this
babe.
Friggin'
It's
gorgeous.
Me.
Love this guy. I got catfished by Henry, okay? That's the point I'm trying to make.
Wonderful. That's amazing.
You guys, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's episode because it is a late night recording for us. Happy to be sitting with my bestie. I got some water and some chest pain. Heather's got tea. And we're just going to barely make it through.
Finish this episode.
Before we get into it, I did want to say, so I meant to open this card with Heather, but I sat down and just opened the envelope on my own. But I received a card. So here's a little plug for us, first and foremost. We have a Patreon. We have a Patreon that, if you guys want ad-free listening, if you guys want a little bit extra kind of bonus stuff from us, we have a Patreon. There's 2 different tiers. There is the ad-free tier, which is $2.22 a month, and there is the bonus and ad-free, and that is $4.44 a month, okay? Well, I love to support people who I truly believe in and love and adore, and I wish I could support more people because I want to subscribe to so many Patreons, but kind of a broke bitch. So
aren't we all?
Can you guys all listen to me so I can give my money away, please? Goodness gracious. That's all I want to do in life. So One of the lucky folks that I am subscribed to is Crime to Burn, April and Lee from Crime to Burn. I am just such a huge, huge, huge fan of Crime to Burn. And for many reasons. Not only do I truly just love the show, and I feel like I'm sitting in a class learning from April every single time, but I think she is one of the funniest people ever. And every time she speaks, I'm just like, I know that even though it's serious and she's talking about stuff, like she's going to throw these like witty backhanded type comments in there that just make me so happy. And then there's bloopers at the end and I can listen to them on repeat and laugh and cry and pee myself. Okay, it's like just amazing, amazing. So anyways, she sent stickers because if you're a Patreon member, you get stickers. So I was so excited when I saw that it came from Crime to Burn. I was like, I get stickers. And they had made, it's not just their regular stickers because I already have those, duh. But these are specific to being a Patreon member. They made like specific ones. So I haven't even opened this yet. I'm going to hold up the card.
Oh,
I wonder if she made this.
I know, it looks fancy. Because
it
she's an
Hallmark.
artist.
She is an artist, but this says Hallmark. She totally wrote Hallmark on the back for sure. She's incredible. That's another thing about her that's just incredible. Ooh, there's quite a bit in here. Let's read it. Rachel, to the original cult member, Steve is honored to share with you this. Is that supposed to say sacrament? Sacrament of Steve's eternal stickiness. A sincere thanks from us for your support and friendship. I will forever be grateful for you. April. Oh my gosh, I love it. First one. This you are going to love so much. Okay. This is so funny. I love them even more. I'm going to subscribe again. I'm going to have 2 different Patreon accounts. It's like a little lighter and it says, if you literally light up the room, we're going to talk smack about you on Crime to Burn. And your mom, too. That's amazing.
That's funny.
Crime to Burn is fire-focused, you guys. So if you light up a room, they're going to talk shit about you. Okay, this one says, hello, I'm with Steve, Crime to Burn podcast patron. That's so
love
cool.
it.
I love it so much. And then this one. Oh, it says Cult of Steve. Conform. Look at that.
With the mustache.
Yes, that's incredible. And then this one is a newer Crime to Burn sticker.
Oh
my gosh.
Cool.
I love them so much. Those are incredible.
Those are
Thank
awesome.
you so much. You guys go check out Crime to Burn if you have not already. They are amazing. I love them. And thank you guys for sitting through me fangirling over some of my besties, okay? Because that's necessary.
Awesome. You guys know how much
so much
we love to support other podcasts, especially and we only do it for podcasts we actually listen to and like. And I'm positive you guys have heard us talk about Crime to Burn in April before.
Oh yeah.
And definitely, if you're not already subscribed, go subscribe. And if you're not already signed up for their Patreon, go to their Patreon so you can get some awesome stickers like Rachel, because they are very cool. Those are
They
very
also
awesome.
have like a tier that is above me. I'm too broke to afford that. I can only support a little bit, okay, you guys? But this other tier, it's like, I want to actually get a job so that I can join this tier. The stuff that those people get, let me tell you, I've seen it because she showed me, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to need to like step up my make some money game.
There you go. I know what Rachel's spending her first paycheck on.
When am I going to get a first paycheck?
We're manifesting, Rachel.
Oh, okay,
We're manifesting her. Gosh, come on.
Someone give me a job immediately. Thank you very much. Let's get into today's episode.
Okay, let's do it. Today's case is a little different. This isn't a case of murder or stalking or arson, but it is a case about a mom, and it does involve a crime. In fact, the crime could be considered a crime of the highest order in 18th century high society England, a crime of passion, a case of ruined reputations, and possibly the worst transgression of all for this time period. A woman with agency. Dun,
I'm
dun,
even
dun.
more excited than I was before. I'm so excited for this. Oh, heck yeah. I love it.
I had way too much fun writing this. Okay. So if this sounds a little like flouncy, it's because I literally had way too much fun writing this.
That's fine. Flouncy me.
I'll flouncy it up. Seymour Dorothy Fleming. Her first name was Seymour. Isn't that cool?
Say it again, Seymour.
Seymour Dorothy Fleming.
Dorothy
is her whole name.
Seymour Dorothy Fleming. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
18th century. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. The only Seymour I have ever known.
I've met one other, well, I've known of one other Seymour, and it was a sea lion. So at Seymour.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was going to say, yes, feed me, Seymour. Like, that's the only Seymour that I know. But is there someone named Seymour Hoffman?
Oh, yeah, that's an actor.
Okay. And then there's always the joke about, oh, his name's Seymour Butts. Seymour Butts? You don't know that joke? Like, when they say, like, names when it's like, oh, his name is Ben Dover. Oh, his name is Seymour Butts. You don't know this? What are you doing?
Haven't even finished. Like, this is never gonna work. Okay. So,
You're welcome.
Seymour Dorothy Fleming was born in October of 1757 to Sir John Fleming and Jane Coleman, and she was actually the granddaughter of the Duke of Somerset, which, for those of you who are wondering, like I was, that is in England.
Somerset, England. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I actually don't know if Somerset is the place or if it's just like the territory.
Okay.
Of the, I don't know. But we're talking English people.
Are there dukes in any other place other than England? Oh, I don't know.
Yes?
I'm trying to follow along, okay? You should be lucky that I even know anything you've said so far.
Okay.
Duke Wellington. Wait, is there something called Beef Wellington?
Yes, and it's Beef Wellington as well, too.
I know. I know that. But what is Beef Wellington?
Ask your brother. I don't know.
No, I'm serious because Kenzie always, randomly, she'll just be like, and that's Beef Wellington. And she goes, Mom, is that a real thing? And I'm like, never heard of it. So, okay, I'm going to be so serious the rest of the episode.
No, you're not.
You're right. It's fine.
So, Seymour was actually the fourth of 5 children, but by a very young age, her father and 3 of her siblings had actually passed. So she found herself a pretty well-off heiress because it was only her and her older sister, Jane, who were now taking on their father's inheritance. On top of that, her mom actually remarried another rich guy, and she lived most of her childhood through her teen years with them. And by the time she was of, quote, marrying age, she alone, just by herself, not even with whatever her sister was worth. So she was alone worth 1,000 pounds. And this was back in the late 1700s. I did not do the math on that.
Oh, yeah. I know it's 6 million, 100 billion.
It probably is about, because 52,000 back in 1700.
It's probably more than 6 million. It's probably like
There's
60
some math
million or something
later
like that.
on that I did do, and maybe we could do some math with the math.
Okay.
If we even get that far. I'm not even sure we're going to get that far.
We've got this.
So she was worth a lot. And interestingly, though, a lot of the 18th century gossip columns actually priced that higher. They had her priced around 72,000. And not that I at all am condoning the 18th century British aristocracy's way of like putting a price on a woman and making like her worth to try to drum up the best marriage proposal, and women are property and she's worth this much money. But maybe this figure of 52 was actually inflated to like 70 something thousand, because it was known that our Lady Seymour was a bit of a, quote, wild child, if you will. Especially, because compared to her older sister Jane, who was also on the marriage market, Jane was known to be very intelligent and virtuous, whereas her younger sister was known not to be that.
Okay.
Lady
Seymour.
Lady Seymour. So enter, I should have done this whole episode with an accent.
Good luck.
I would not have made it. So enter Sir Richard Worsley. I will be referring to him throughout the episode off and on, when I remember, and when he's especially being dickish, as Sir Dick. So
Perfect.
Sir Richard Worsley was born in 1751. He was the son of a baronet, which is actually not the same thing as a baron. It's actually like way lower on the order of titles.
Did you learn about these titles on tutors?
No.
Okay. In school? I was like, didn't pay attention to school, didn't watch tutors. What's a baron?
So I do know that there's obviously the king. Underneath the king, now nobody come for me. I know we have listeners in England. Some of this stuff is still like a thing.
I'm trying to learn.
Dukes and earls up at the top.
Okay.
And then below that, viscounts or viscounts and barons, but not baronets.
Okay.
And then because baronets are, I think they're like barely above knights. They're still called sir or whatever, but they're barely above like a commoner.
Gotcha.
And we need to remember that Lady Seymour is the granddaughter of a duke. And I'm pretty sure duke is the one like right below a king. It's either duke or earl.
Okay.
She's pretty high up there. And for this baronet to be like, oh, because, okay, well, I'll get to that part.
Okay.
So Sir Dick, he would eventually succeed his father as baronet, and he inherited his house, the Abel de Crombe house, in 1768. And he, this will explain, he actually had to work to have his living. Her and her sister, they could just hang out. Like,
right.
They had enough money to just hang out. He was actually needing to work.
Okay.
So Seymour and Dick actually first met in 1772 when she was only 14 years old. And he was actually there to try and court her older sister, Jane.
How old is
he? At this time, he's 21.
Okay.
So there's some red flags here. A, he's a politician. No. B, he's there to court her older sister. And C, he is a baronet. trying to get in with a duke's granddaughter.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
who are you? And like, come on, man. This is not, get out of here.
Yeah.
But
hey, he was shooting his shot.
He was trying to shoot his shot. And he knew that both of these girls come with a pretty decent
Gotcha.
amount of money.
Coin.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Some coin. But like many young girls, our Lady Seymour, she apparently flirted with him, had eyes for, like I said, he was 21 at the time. But he was there for her sister. And she was seen at the time, because she was 14, she was too young for marriage at that time. Which is crazy because...
Yeah, I'm so I love to hear that. I love to hear
I know. Anyway, fortunately or unfortunately, Jane, Seymour's older sister, she wasn't interested, which is good for her, because she ends up marrying like an earl, which, yes, because she's the granddaughter of a duke. She deserves someone high up there. And as fate would have it, a few years later, when Seymour is 17, they would cross paths again. And this time, she is of marrying age, and he is still looking for a way to increase his social standing. And again, she is still worth $52K in pounds. So at this point, the two are apparently inseparable. And they're married.
Okay.
And it is now 1775. Now, like I said, Richard is a career politician. At the time, they're fighting, I think, France-ish or some other random country. So he's spending some time away fighting. He's spending time as a politician. He's also an antique, like, art collector. So he's spending a lot of time traveling. And during his time away, Seymour is actually spending a lot of her time hanging out with other London aristocracy, including the Duchess of Devonshire, which I did a quick little mini reading about the Duchess of Devonshire, which, it makes me want to do another My Cleopatra episode, but on the Duchess of Devonshire, because, oh my goodness.
I'm down.
But anyway... The Duchess of Devonshire had this clique, this pretty well-known group. It was connected to a political party at the time, but they were known for their really fancy parties, lots of drinking, lots of gambling, and Seymour was spending a lot of her time with this clique while her husband was away. Richard and Seymour, they would go on, they would have a son named Robert, and then they would also have a daughter, which they named Jane, which was sweet. It was actually a family name. They are linked in a way to Jane Seymour, and several generations back. Do you know who Jane Seymour is in terms of Henry VIII?
No.
So you know who Henry VIII is?
Well, I've heard of him.
He's the one that had like 7 wives. Anne Boleyn got her head chopped off.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Jane Seymour was the wife after Anne Boleyn.
Okay.
So,
gotcha.
Mm-hmm. So on the outside, these two, Sir Richard and Lady Seymour, they were just like any other London aristocracy, living it up, late 1700s. Although, if that were really the case, we probably wouldn't be talking about them. Because,
right.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, it's not all good and dandy, okay?
No. In November 1781.
Oh, man. You didn't say 1776.
I did not. This is after.
I've just been waiting. Well, you earlier you said 1775. I've just been like sitting here waiting. I haven't had a different thought other than 1776.
I know. I don't think there's anything significant. Actually maybe I think that their son might have been born in 1776. So here we go. Here, I'll give you a chance.
Okay.
And then their son Robert was born in 1776.
1776. I love it. You guys.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Nice.
I just want to keep singing the rest of the time. Actually, it's so funny how many different things when you're talking about like, oh, with France, and I'm like, oh, and they're off fighting a war with France, getting high with the French. Oh my gosh, there's so many things in my head right now.
I love that I got all mine from tutors and you're getting your all from Alexander Hamilton.
Right?
Okay. So in
Would you like to take it out of
1781,
an basket? Sorry.
she's still going. I love
His
it.
head was in a basket. Would you like to take it out and ask it?
I've lost Rachel for the rest of the episode.
I'm super dead. Okay.
You can keep going. I actually really love it. In November of 1781, Lady Seymour elopes with George Maurice Bassett.
You're going to say
And
Washington.
all hell.
Oh my gosh.
But there is a connection to George Washington later on that I'll tell you about. Mm-hmm. Okay. You actually just reminded me. I didn't put it in. I didn't write it in, but I'll tell you about it.
Okay. I'm sure everyone is screaming at me to shut my mouth so that you can continue. So I'm going to do a little bit better.
Nah, it's fine. They can fast forward. Okay. So George Bassett was actually neighbors with Richard and Seymour and friend to the family.
Okay.
He was a captain in the South Hampshire militia, a title that was actually bestowed on him by Richard, which is crazy. Obviously, Sir Dick was pissed.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. Extramarital affairs were actually pretty commonplace, especially in high society. I mean, these people were sticking it wherever. Just watch the Tudors. But you had to at least try to keep it on the DL. Your public-facing marriage had to remain intact. After all, what would someone say if they thought that your heir, the person who's supposed to take over your inheritance,
Right,
wasn't actually your own blood? They could say that's not your blood, and someone else could come try to take your title. Which, FYI, this is exactly what happened with Richard and Seymour's second child, Jane, who was actually fathered by George Bassett, but Sir Dick still claimed her as his own child. Again, saving face and putting on that public, everything's good here is way more important.
Jeez.
So anyway, by Seymour straight up running out with George Bassett, it led on two things to the rest of the London aristocracy. One, Seymour is a floozy with no morals, runs out on her husband. And two, Richard is less than a man who can't keep his house in order. So this is a major problem. So Sir Dick, to save face, resorts to some drastic measures. He actually goes on to sue George Bassett.
Wow.
And he sues him by, this is the claim, criminal conversation with one's wife.
What?
And what, I know. So what this basically
There's going to be a lot of people suing out here right now. What the hell?
What it basically means is that you can get financial compensation for seducing your wife.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, back at this time, your wife was considered your property. And if your wife was seduced by another man, the value of her as a property, as an object, was less. And so you're suing this man for compensation for the value that you have lost because your property is damaged.
Well,
to
I
speak.
hate everything you just said.
I know.
So,
That's exactly what I was going to say. I obviously do not
yeah.
agree with any of this, but it is the 18th century. And honestly, apparently, this was not an out of the ordinary claim that happened. Apparently, a lot of this, like this type of claim where they would sue for this happened a lot of times before a divorce proceeding, because at this time this was post Henry VIII, so people were actually allowed to get divorced. They would sue and before the divorce, and they would say, I want money and then I will give you the divorce. Now, here's the thing. Richard was taking this horrible, not out of the ordinary thing, but he was taking this a step further. First, he wasn't asking for a divorce, which would mean two things. One, Seymour would never be allowed to remarry until Richard dies.
Okay.
And he has to grant the divorce, right? So if he doesn't ask for a divorce and he just says, I want to just be separated, and never says, I'll get a divorce from you,
Yeah, she
can never get remarried. And that would also mean that all the money, that $52,000 that she brought into the marriage, it would kind of need to be negotiated. And basically, they would have to negotiate how much money she could get a month out of that money that was technically what she brought into the marriage. And he was also suing for an insane amount of money, which was £20,000, which at the time would have bankrupted George Bassett, who, remember, was not a rich aristocracy guy. Yeah. He was just a dude in the militia. And I did the math on this one. £20,000 is over £4 million today.
Wow. But
So
how much is £4 million in dollars?
In dollars, I think right now pounds is worth less. So it's probably like, I don't know, $5 or $6 million. Yeah. So you think about this. A guy is suing another guy for like $5 million for running off with his wife. Now, Rachel, it's going to get more wild. We're not even to the wild part.
The guys end up together?
No.
Oh.
No. But even more wild. You're never going to guess it, Rachel. This is absolutely insane.
Ooh, now I want to guess. It's so bad.
Okay. So our Lady Seymour said, look, Dick, if I'm going down, I'm taking you with me, motherfucker. She was not having this. So either to make sure that her new lover, who she ran off with, George, didn't have to pay that full amount and then therefore be broke, or maybe it was to try to force Richard into allowing a divorce versus the separation, which would then allow her to marry George and would allow her to get her money. Or maybe just as a big, like, F you to her husband, she let all this shit air out. If you thought that the booze and the gambling and the bad fucking wigs and these extramarital affairs were the craziest thing happening, we're about to blow your mind.
Oh.
Here we go. So during this trial, Our Lady Seymour called in to testify. Not one, not two, but 5 previous lovers. And when I say previous lovers, I mean these are all men that she had slept with while she was married to Richard, but before she had eloped with George.
Ooh.
And during their testimonies, they claimed that Sir Richard Worsley, the supposed ever-loving husband who was so upset that he was suing over another man seducing his wife, that Sir Richard Worsley not only knew of these extramarital relationships, but was complicit and even encouraged
Oh my
his wife's
gosh.
dalliances, because Richard was no better than a modern-day voyeuristic pimp who objectified his wife for his own disgusting, perverse amusement.
Oh, jeez. Goodness gracious. So, like, okay, you do all that, and then all of a sudden, what, you want to act all high and mighty after doing that?
Right?
Like, what is wrong with you? Oh, did you grow a conscience, like, all of a sudden? Ay, ay, ay.
So, some of the testimony from some of these previous lovers, they stated that Richard let one guy watch as Seymour got dressed. There was even a testimony from she had worked at a public bathhouse, and this woman described how one time Sir Dick called out to his wife, who was in the bathhouse, and said, hey Seymour, I'm gonna let George get a look at you. And then he boosted George Bissett, the man he's suing. He boosted George Bissett up to the window at the public bathhouse so he could watch Seymour get dressed through the window. And after that, all three of them walked away through the bathhouse, or walked away from the bathhouse, quote, merry and laughing together, end quote.
I don't know. All right. We'll talk to you guys next week on another episode of Like Father, Like Her. Jeez, that's so frustrating. Like, I mean, I already knew I didn't like him, whatever, but it's like, gosh, dumbass
Right?
person.
Yeah. So like I said before, Sir Dick was an absolute disgusting piece of trash. And Lady Seymour was out to prove that because this Dick with a capital D was not only complicit, but encouraged these affairs, including the one specifically with George Bissett, he had no cause to seek damages. And luckily, even though society at this time was incredibly chauvinistic in general, the verdict that came back, they awarded Dick 1 shilling in damages after he was seeking £20,000. Yeah.
Just a fucking slap to the face.
So they basically gave him like 1 penny, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They should have said,
So-
actually, you owe us.
Yeah. Well, you owe the court for putting us through this trash. On top of that, obviously, his reputation was ruined.
Yeah.
Which serves him right. But also, unfortunately, the whole thing also didn't leave Lady Seymour with the best, outcome either.
I mean, she didn't seem innocent in any of it, but it's the fact of like, okay, don't just go over there and be like, oh, all of a sudden you want to act like you're above me or something like that. It's like, okay, get out of here.
Right. But it's more so the fact that if society is harsh on a man, there's going to be 10 times harsher on a woman. I mean, some things never change. It was like this in the 1700s. It's like this today. For instance, in the trial, she called forth 5 men, and her doctor also came forward and said that she had been treated at one point for an STI. At a various point in time, one of the papers had said that she had been linked to 27 men. Where they got that number, who knows? Something else really sad and tragic when she eloped, her son and her daughter had to stay at the house, and her baby, unfortunately, had passed away during the trial. So she never got to see her baby after her elopement. Now, infant mortality at this time was pretty high.
Right.
Not saying that it makes it any less tragic. And then, as was customary, her first son, Richard, stayed with his father.
Yeah.
So she didn't have any of her kids. And while the courts saw it fit to only give Dick his 1 shilling in compensation, there was still no divorce granted, and the separation dragged out. That came with all of its own issues, because now she can't get any money. She can't marry George because she's not a divorced woman, which means she also can't provide him with a legitimate heir either, which is a problem because Seymour and George, they did stay together for another 1.5 years, but they could never actually get married. They eventually part ways. The problem is she's pregnant. So if you think about, this, like, how would society treat a woman today who's separated from her husband, even if he was a piece of trash, mind you, piece of trash, but separated from her husband, is now also separated from her boyfriend, and is pregnant with his child, and she has no money.
Yeah. Yep.
So think about that, and then think about how they treat a woman back in I think at the time it would have been like 1780 something, right? And because separated or divorced women were shunned by high society at the time, and she had mentioned, obviously, in open court to having several lovers, she just didn't have a lot to fall back on.
It just makes me think, because I just keep tying it into things that I have seen in my life. But like Game of Thrones, like the shame type thing. That's what I'm picturing right now for her.
Exactly. And also, because of the fact that she was left in this kind of financial limbo, because Dick, he literally left the country. He was too embarrassed to face the consequences of his own actions. He literally up and left the country, which left their separation proceedings incomplete. And so all the money was tied up. If they had been separated, they would have had to agree to basically like an alimony payment, where he would have had to say, fine, I'll give you $300 or $400 a month, whatever. But because it couldn't be agreed upon, she had nothing. And she was literally, what was she supposed to do? Her debts were piling up. She was pregnant. What was she going to do? So there were other women like her in the same situation. Higher society women who had been divorced and therefore shunned and not able to have any financial stability. So they become mistresses. Or if you've seen Moulin Rouge, another way to kind of look at it is like a courtesan. Basically, they start taking on like rich lovers who are going to pay their bills.
It's called sugar baby.
It's their sugar baby. Pretty much. So there's a lot of other crazy things that happen in her life, including she ends up being banned from England because when Richard finally crawls out of his hole and he settles their separation, he basically says, okay, fine, I'll pay you, this much money a month or whatever, but you have to leave England for 4 years. And so she leaves. She moves to Paris. She takes on a few lovers over there. she actually ends up getting caught up in the French Revolution, where they hated the high society aristocratic, people.
Mm-hmm.
And she most likely spent some time in jail
Okay.
during this,
Yeah.
because they just were throwing a bunch of aristocrats in jail. At one point, she gets really sick. She gets hit with a really bad illness. She ends up making her way back, and apparently throughout all of this, probably at the time of her trial when she admitted to this very scandalous life, she basically had cut ties with her family. Now, remember, she had a very well-off sister who was married to an earl.
Yeah.
And
Jane, where you at? What you doing, Jane?
Where you at? Could have solved her financial problems, but
Right.
because of the scandal, I think they were not on talking terms. But she gets really, really sick, and I think that kind of turns the tide. She's able to make up with her sister.
Okay.
And who's able to kind of help her pay some debts off. She's able to get a place, and she settles in. She recovers from her illness, and it's around this time that she ultimately meets a musician named Jean Hummel in 1797, and seemingly he genuinely cares for her.
Okay.
They were finally married in 1805 when Sir Dick finally passes, which allows her to marry someone else and gives her back the money that was
that
hers.
$52,000.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness, or pounds.
Yeah, pounds. And they live out the rest of their lives together until she passes at the age of 59 in 1818. Now, I told you about the connection to George Washington.
Right.
So this trial was scandalous.
Yeah.
Right? Scandalous. There is when you Google Lady Seymour, one of the first things you'll see, other than this really bomb-ass looking full body portrait of her in this like really stunning red dress, it's basically a comic.
Okay.
From 17 whatever. And it's depicting the scene that I said was testified in trial, where Sir Richard Worsley is boosting George Bassett up to look at Lady Seymour through the bathhouse. And it's
while she's changing.
Yeah, and it's basically like a comic about how scandalous this is, and oh my gosh, this is what's happening. So there's comics about this, and there was a whole poem book written about this, and it's supposed to be, from the way I understand it, but it's hard because it's a poem. I'm not a poetry person. I'm never, we took English together and we read poetry, and I still don't, it doesn't connect for me.
Sing a song.
I think there was a whole, I think it's like a long poem, or maybe it's a book of poems. I don't know. But from what I understand, it's supposed to be kind of written as if from her own perspective, but it's scandalous because it's like talking about
all of her lovers and just like everything.
And apparently it couldn't stay on the shelves. People were like scooping up copies like crazy.
Damn.
Because and supposedly George Washington had a copy.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. She was the first Pulitzer Prize winner. Why can't I say that word?
Well, she didn't even write it. It was supposed to be from her point of view, but someone else wrote it.
That's so funny.
Hi, everyone. Quick interruption, because as I was rereading my research, I found that it was actually not the poem that George Washington allegedly owned a copy of. He owned a copy of the court report of Lady Seymour's trial, or more accurately, George Bassett's trial. And the court report seemingly held all the lurid details of her affairs. Her story was like the first smut book. That's what.
Jeez. That was her life.
It was her real life though. So, yeah, that is.
Oh my goodness.
That is the case.
Okay, so I have a question.
Okay.
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
I was going to say Carmen Sandiego.
Where did you hear of this or see this or find this or come across this?
I was scrolling.
Yeah.
And apparently her story got turned into some kind of mini-series several years back.
Okay.
I have not watched it because the woman who plays her is not an actress that I particularly care for. She kind of annoys me. She's the lady from Game of Thrones, and she's in Tudors as, I think she plays Anne Boleyn in Tudors. And she's you watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
She's the one who is gonna marry Joffrey, but then he dies, the blonde, and then she goes on and marries his brother, and she's always doing this with her lips.
Yeah, now I need
You know
to
what I'm
look it
talking
up.
about.
I do know who you're talking about. I gotta see it. I gotta see it with my own eyes.
So they
right
made,
now,
I think it's like a mini-series. I don't know if it's a movie or like a mini-series or something, but they made a show about Lady Seymour's story. And
yeah,
I ran across a clip of it on Instagram, and I'm like, the heck is this? But I didn't want to watch more of it because the lady kind of bugs me, but I started reading about it, and then I found this amazing article, which of course you guys will be linked in the show notes, but it's an amazing article on the Women's History Network website about Seymour Dorothy Fleming and her life, and it was absolutely amazing. And someone wrote a whole book about her and her life. This is just, how do more people not know this story?
yeah, it's crazy. It's so twisted. It's so much, like, there's just so much to it, and I'm like, oh my gosh. But I feel like this is just one of a billion probably stories like this.
There has got to be. We're gonna start a new series called
nothing
like
against
Drama
you, Lady
from the
Seymour.
1700s. I know, I know, right? That's what I'm saying. It's like, I mean, we could do. I have seriously considered doing like a Henry VIII, but from the perspective of each of his wives.
Yeah,
because each of them had several crimes committed against them.
Yeah, I'm totally down for that.
Okay,
I feel like
it's
you
gonna
should
happen.
because it's so funny. I mean, everyone listening, if you're still here listening, the only thing that you guys take away from these episodes is how ridiculously unsmart I am, right? Is that the only takeaway from these episodes? Is that I literally know nothing? Game of Thrones, you know nothing.
You know nothing, Rachel.
Yes.
Why are we nonstop talking about Game of Thrones this episode?
No, just anything. There's so many different references in here. Also, that's Natalie Dormer.
That's her name.
Whatever.
That's her name.
Yeah.
Yeah. She, no offense to her, she's had a bunch of great roles.
Yeah.
From what I understand, she's a good person. I've read some articles where she really stands up for what she believes and has some great values. There's something about her that I just like doesn't click for me.
Yeah, it's that in Game of Thrones she was gonna marry Joffrey. That's what doesn't click for you. It's like ever since that moment you were like, anyone who has any ties here, you're done.
You know what it might be? Because even before that, you know what it might be? Captain America. She's the one who pulls him behind the like bookcase and kisses him, and then who's Agent Carter sees and was like, so I guess you'll just kiss whoever behind the bookcase.
My brain is not working. And
Okay.
I know that I had a billion references in this thing, but the only thing I know the most of is Marvel movies. So why?
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through this.
Okay.
Captain America,
Yes.
the first Avenger.
Okay. But
She
is it
has
in
a
his
very-
movie or is it in the Avengers?
It's in the first Avenger, his movie.
Okay.
His very first movie.
Okay.
She has a very small role.
Okay.
In which she's sitting at like a table. What's their shield? She's sitting at a table in shields. And Captain America goes, I'm supposed to meet someone here at the conference room. I'm supposed to meet Agent Carter. And she goes, she'll be here in a second. And she like doesn't even care about him. And then she does a double take and she goes, oh shit, it's Captain America. And then she like, Captain America. And then she pulls him in, lays one on him, and is like in the midst of kissing him when Peggy comes around the corner, catches them mid-kiss. The fuck, Steve? You'll just go around. You told me you never found a dame worth dancing with.
Yeah.
Yet you're over here kissing this hussy in the corner.
Yep. Pussy ass bitch.
Exactly. And that's probably why I have a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, it is.
Because
it came out. You see how you unleashed. Yes.
That's probably why.
His nice, innocent.
Yes.
Just
and
gentleman.
And the possibility of Steve and Peggy having something together before he had to bury the thing in the water.
Yeah.
We should just have a podcast actresses. Why we don't like certain actors and actresses because of roles they played in movies.
There's so many that I'm just like, next, won't watch that, hate it. And now, listen, I didn't hate her, but now I do.
I'm telling y'all. So there it is.
I feel you. Damn, that's crazy. Oh, I can't wait to hear you guys. If you love this, let Heather know. I love when Heather brings these old-timey, like, so much going on episodes. Like, I freaking adore it. So thank you so much for this. Did you expect that, though? Absolutely
completely unexpected, right?
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Because the clip I saw, I was just like, what are they talking about? And so then I Google Lady Seymour, and I'm like reading, and wait.
Yeah.
Like,
it just kept going and going and going. I was like, oh my goodness.
I know.
Damn.
Completely unexpected.
Damn. Well, crazy. That's crazy. I think next week let's do a Good, the Baddest, and the Crime.
Yes.
You ready for that? Holiday edition. Let's do holiday edition. Kick it off.
Oh, that's so good.
Yes.
So excited for that.
Let's make it happen. All right. Yes. That's what's coming your guys' way. We will be bringing that Good, the Badass, and the Crime. If you guys ever find stories for that, feel free to send us some stuff, mom-related articles, whether it's a good mom that you guys are like, gosh, this was just the greatest read ever. You have to check this out. Badass Mom, another great read, or a crime mom. I actually saw an article today, and that's why I was like, we need to do one of these pretty soon. So
because I need to tell this
make
case.
It happen.
Yeah. And you guys know that it doesn't always have to be a human mom. We have brought our fair share of badass dog moms.
Fair share. I don't think I've ever done an animal, but maybe this will be first.
I say we, but it's always me.
I love it. I'm like, what is she gonna bring today? It's the best.
I told about a goat. Or was
I feel like that sounds right.
It was like a sheep.
No, I think it was a goat. That sounds right.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
You know how I do. I'm just.
Love it. Hey, if it's mom related, it's coming your way. Doesn't matter what kind of mama. Lady Seymour mom, or dog mom, or mom. All right. This was fun and crazy, and I loved it. And we will talk to you guys next week. Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Oh my gosh, this one is
Those are so
cute.
Those are very cute. I love that. If you literally light up a room, we're gonna talk shit about you and your mom.
So
I love
funny.
that. So she's so funny.
Oh my god, I love that so much.
She's hilarious. She cracks me up.